Hi guys! In this lesson we are going to study our radical big, da. This radical has only one form and it is used as a separate word, and it means big, as I said before. Now let's see how we draw it. 1, 2 and 3. If we add dot, it is another radical with meaning animal, pet, like dogs, cats, and so on. And in this case you need to imagine a person, and this dot is person's pet. And now let's study its history. As we see, in the past it was a picture of a man standing with open arms and legs. Why? Of course you think that why it means big, because people say that if you stay in this position in front of animals, for example a bear, for a bear you will look very, very big and it can scare animals. So that's why person in this position means big in Chinese. And of course in time it was very, very simplified, and nowadays we still see a person with open arms and legs but with no head. Now let's study examples. This radical is very commonly used and you will see it in different places of different characters. The first example is word sky, 天. And of course you see a person, very, very big person, who is so big with no limits in his or her mind, and they are so massive, big, that they can reach our sky. And the next example, it's a word beautiful, 美. If we talk about details of this character, in this case we see big because Chinese, they just wanted to show in this character a person standing and wearing something on his head. So wearing something very beautiful, what made him a very beautiful person. The brightest example for you guys, of course, crown. The next example, it's a word to extend, to reach, da. In this character our radical is used for sound. It means that thankfully to this radical the character is read da, plus when something extends it becomes big. The next example, it's a word strange, unusual, 奇. Of course, when something is too big, for example lips of some ladies nowadays, when these things that are too big, it is very unusual and strange for us. And the next cool example, it's a word to celebrate, 庆. Of course, when we celebrate, we invite lots of people to big areas, we have lots of food, and that's why celebrate has our radical big. And the last example, it's a word cause, reason. When something becomes reasonable, it should be very big for us. It should be very arguable. That's why cause, reason has our radical big. And as I said, this radical is used as a separate word big. For example, big person, 大人, so or big building or anything big. And it is used of course in metaphorical ways, for example in the word university, 大学, 大 big, 学 to study, so big people who study at university. That's why these two words together mean university. It's easy to guess because big people, they're usually adults, not teenagers, not kids. And the next cool example, it's a word conference, 大会, 大 big, 会 meeting. Again, easy to guess without my explanation even. So meeting is usually a small amount of people, and big meetings, they're usually already conferences. And the next cool example, it's a word size, 大小, 大 big, 小 small, together size. And again, it's easy to guess, sizes can be different, small, medium, large. That's why these two words together, big and small, mean size. And the next example, it's a word great strength, 大力, 大 big, 力 strength, together great strength. And the next example, it's a word coat, 大衣, 大 big, 衣 clothes, something very big. Coats, they're usually bigger than socks, and then dresses, then skirts, shirts, and so on. That's why big clothes mean together coat. And the last example, it's a very useful word, of course. It's a word, it's our planet, it's Earth. Da, di, da, big, di, place, together, Earth. Dear friends, subscribe, push this bell button. It will remind you about our next class, in which we are going to study radical rise. 你一，谢谢，再见。